Hi, Mrs. Jeffers here. Today we are going to be getting back to our feeling unit. So I want you to take a look at this character here and see if you can figure out what feeling we might be discussing today. Well, all of you that thought sadness are absolutely correct. Today we are going to be talking about this feeling. Now, sadness is not the only vocabulary word that we could use to describe the feeling of sadness. We might also use words such as blue, which is one of my favorite words to describe this feeling. And I love how even the illustrators over at Disney Pixar, when they designed sadness, they made her the color blue. So not only is she sad, she is also feeling blue. Another word that we might use is the word unhappy. It's the opposite of happy. It's unhappy. We might also use some big words such as discouraged, disappointed, and we can sometimes even say upset. When we take a look at our mood meter, if we're feeling sad, we are also going to be in this blue category because our energy is low and we're feeling pretty terrible. Some other words we might use in this blue category is we might say that we're feeling down or lonely. Maybe we're feeling tired or exhausted. We don't have much energy and we don't feel very good. Now take a look here at my friend Mickey Mouse, and I bet if you are using your feeling detective skills, you could tell that he's not feeling like his normal happy self. We can look at some of the clues. Now, the clue that stands out first to me is definitely his head and his eyes. So in both of these pictures, his head is kind of down. The first one, if his hands weren't there holding it up, he would be looking down at his lap. In the second one, as he's walking away, his head and his eyes are both looking down at the ground at his feet. Now, if you see someone who is looking like this, it might be a clue that they're feeling a little bit upset or lonely or sad. So that might be an opportunity for you to try to see if you can do something to make them feel better. What other clues might you see in Mickey Mouse here to tell you that he's feeling upset? Now, what I want to do is share a story with you today, and it is called When Sadness is at Your Door. Sometimes sadness arrives unexpectedly. It follows you around and sits so close to you, you can hardly breathe. You can try to hide it, but it feels like you've become sadness yourself. Try not to be afraid of sadness. Give it a name. Say hello. Listen to it. Ask where it comes from and what it needs. If you don't understand each other, just sit together and be quiet for a while. Find something you both enjoy, like drawing. Ooh, that's a good strategy. We might talk about that here in just a little bit. Listening to music or drinking hot chocolate. Maybe sadness doesn't like to stay inside. Try letting it outside sometimes. Now I want to pause for a second because I love how in the story it says try drinking hot chocolate. And I want to mention another strategy that might work well for you. So here is a picture of what looks to me some delicious hot chocolate. Now I need you to use your imagination with me for just a moment. I want you to pretend that you are holding that nice steaming mug of hot cocoa. First, I want you to inhale the smell of the yummy, gooey marshmallows. So pretend you smell that. Oh, so that's a nice deep breath in. Now you're going to blow slowly on the hot cocoa. Because you know, a lot of times it's pretty hot. Be careful, if you blow too quickly, you might splatter it and your marshmallows will go flying. Those are piled up pretty high. So let's do that one more time. Let's breathe in the gooey marshmallow scent. and then blow out. Blow on that cocoa, keep it nice, and we want to get it so we can drink it. One more time. So that is another strategy of taking in some deep breaths. We call that hot cocoa breathing. So maybe if you're feeling a little bit of sadness, you can try some hot cocoa breathing and see if it helps you to feel a little bit better. Now back to our story. You could go for a walk through the trees. You can listen to their sounds together. And this makes me think of one of our strategies that we've previously talked about. It kind of sounds like we are imagining a peaceful place, walking through those trees and listening to the sounds. Maybe all it wants is to know that it is welcome. And to sleep knowing that it is not alone. When you wake up, the feeling might be gone, but don't worry, today is a new day. So it is okay to feel sadness, and we all feel sadness from time to time. These are some reasons why someone might be feeling sad. Maybe you overheard some family members arguing. That might make you feel blue. Maybe you got left out of doing something. Maybe you got a bad grade on something in school. That might make you feel upset. Maybe you're away from someone that you care about. You might miss them. That might make you feel sad. Sometimes we feel sad when something goes wrong or something doesn't go our way. Sometimes we feel sad if you feel that people aren't caring about you. Other people are upset with you, could make you feel discouraged. And maybe you would feel disappointed if someone breaks the promise or lies to you. All of those, plus more, might make us feel blue. But there are some things that we can do to move sadness on our scale down to feeling joy. Some of them we talked about in our story today, or we talked about in previous weeks when we talked about some strategies. Let's see if you remember some of them. So if we feel sad, blue, unhappy, we can count to 10. We can take deep breaths. We can smell that flower and blow out that candle. Or we can do our new hot cocoa breathing that we just learned. We can smell the gooey marshmallows on top. And we can blow that cocoa to cool it down. We can talk about how we feel. We can do our special stop, drop, and roll. We could make some lemonade. We talked about those strategies first when we talked about being angry. They also work when we're feeling nervous or worried, or even if we're feeling blue. Then we also talked about these strategies when we were talking about being nervous or worried or having anxiety. We can use that little voice inside of our head to say, I can do it. That works if you're feeling sad as well. We can use Tinkerbell's message and think some happy thoughts, because if we're feeling a little bit blue, we think about something that makes us happy. It might help us to feel a little bit better. And then finally, like we mentioned in the story, we can imagine a peaceful place. Now today we're going to talk about 2 new strategies that we can use if we are feeling unhappy to help us to feel better. So the first one here actually has 2 pictures for the same strategy. So it has a pencil with some paper and it has a box of crayons. And so this strategy is that you can write or draw about how you feel. In the story, that was one of the strategies that the little cartoon did, was drawing. It's something that they like to do. Maybe you like to draw or you like to write. And if you're feeling sad, maybe you can write or draw about how you feel. And then our last strategy that I want to mention to you is this little boy and this little girl cartoon here. And what they're doing is asking for a hug. Now this is going to look a little different here at school this year, but that's certainly something that is a great strategy if you're feeling sad at home. You can ask someone in your house for a hug. And I know a lot of you have some really cool stuffed animals at your house, and you can always give one of your stuffed animals a hug. That always makes us feel better as well. So So I hope that you are practicing some of these strategies when you have one of those big uncomfortable feelings, whether you're feeling angry about something, or if you're feeling nervous or worried about something, or even if you're feeling sad or blue about something. All 10 of these strategies can help you. I want you to practice some of these when you're feeling calm, so that way if one of those big feelings sneaks up on you, you are prepared and you know just what you can do. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.